Yes, I'm there so with the herbs, you know. The healing of the nation is service of man, you know. But you must give thanks and praise where you use the herbs. And there's the benefit, Rastafari.
So when it comes to using herbs, I highly recommend using herbs and plants, even food, as much as possible that is local to where you're living.
Parsley and lettuce.
Those plants have built a natural immunity to anything in the environment to keep it strong. So it's going to support you in doing that as well. And also it's good to know what's on your food and your herbs that you're ingesting and where it comes from. It's good to be connected to your food and the process it has to go through. I give thanks and praises for this day, and you could see in Michigan here in the US it is snowing. So it might not be the best time to go harvest some, wonderful spring herbs, since spring is still fighting to get here. So let's check out Guyana.
Cancer. Prostate cancer. Stinging nettle. Rastafari. This one is
So in this book, as they mentioned in Guyana about stinging nettle, you could see the picture here, and stinging nettle is starting to bloom even here in Michigan. Stinging nettle is very nutritive and supportive and balancing. In the spring, we could expect to see it. You definitely want to make sure that you're using gloves when you harvest it, because it's called stinging nettle for a reason. Sometimes you could find it at a bulk section in a health food store where it's already dried and prepared, so you can just add it to your food or use it as a tea with it, or even add it to broths. You can steam it just like spinach. So even though there's many miles and land and oceans between us, there is many common denominators that keep us connected and allow us to share information and love and even plants, both in Michigan and in Guyana. Give thanks and praises for our connections, our love, and what's next.
This you know, not for your kidneys and clean your urinal tracts and them things.
Rastafari.
Right,
Yes. Dandelion. Yeah. Clean your kidney and your urinal tracts. This is dandelion.
This one,
Seen all over the place. You just saw them mention it in Guyana as well. And dandelion is just a really wonderful plant. It is also cold and bitter. It says sweet, which is ironic. It doesn't seem like it could be sweet and bitter at the same time, but I guess that's how it can be a weed and a beautiful flower and medicine at the same time. But so dandelion, the root is really good, especially if you're trying to get out of the habit of using coffee. Roasted dandelion root tea has that robustness and gives you a little bit of elevation. And it is really good. You could use the leaves and you can eat the flowers. I prefer just the leaves personally, used in salad, and that is going to improve and assist digestion, and also it has a lot of potassium, and it helps with urinary tract disorders, just like they mentioned earlier. Give thanks and praises for dandelion. It's everywhere. Make sure you're harvesting from a reliable source that hasn't been sprayed with anything. Rastafari. Bitter and cleansing, use dandelion. So give thanks and praises for visiting Healing Herbs and Livity Company. And please forgive me, it's been a rough time getting married and then being away from my husband and trying to, heal and sustain my house. Thanks and praises that I'm alive and my breath is still flowing and I have the ability to share love and information and grace with everybody. So let's talk about some herbs that really help uplift you. Holy basil? What are you talking about, Mrs. Slow? And I definitely want to mention basil because basil is, number one, it just is delicious and delightful, and you could just eat it really easily, in my opinion. I love it in pesto. I've been eating a lot of pesto. But it's really helpful to be using, also it's an antidepressant, antiseptic, it stimulates the adrenal cortex. If you'd rather take a supplement, I really love this brand called New Chapter. It's just really, it helps blood sugar levels, and this one is particularly helpful to me, and it is easily accessible and found. So I just want to make sure that if you want to explore the benefits of basil and using basil, you could just even add it to your food as well, or drink it as tea. It's really nice mixed with rose also. So check out basil and allow it to participate in your elevation. Give thanks for sweet, delicious, healing basil. Last but not least, I wanted to mention the Bless Up of Rose, which is antidepressant and so helpful in my life. So let's take a moment and talk about the Bless Up of Rose. Yes, I give thanks and praises. Rose has just helped me so much in my life. Rose is just a wonderful plant that's antidepressant, antispasmodic. It's an aphrodisiac, astringent, sedative, digestive stimulant. It's just a really helpful, wonderful plant. And most of all, it really helps your heart chakra and your heart space, especially if you're in a condition like me where you're separated from the one that you want to be next to all the time and it's challenging. So I highly recommend using this beautiful and blessed plant, and even rose hips have vitamin C. Explore these many benefits of rose. Rasta. I like to use rose water in my smoothies, or also just in club soda with a little bit of lime. Give thanks for the images of this book, and this book by Penelope Odie, Natural Health Medicinal Herbs book. And I also want to give thanks to, of course, my wonderful, supportive, loving husband in Guyana, Ibless, and also the Rasta brethren that are sharing their love and knowledge. Rastafari.